Welcome to episode 27, Defining the North Star for Your Business.
Big Bad Marketing Podcast.
Janae, how do you feel about North Stars as a directional guide for a small business owner?
Okay. I love it in theory. I think it's something that's going to pivot and change all the time. And the more sort of flexible you can be with it as your business develops, the better. And also, it's fixed. It's literally the directional star in the sky that you are walking towards in the middle of the night. That's at least the image I have when I think about North Star. And it's guiding all your decisions. So you want to be flexible and be really clear about where you're going and why.
Yes. And hot take, I think most people that start a business know what their North Star is. They may just not have verbalized it. They may not have it down on
Ooh,
paper. They may not call it their North Star, but it's sort of like the values that guide you as a person. You sort of have that for your business. And even if it's not explicit, like a business plan, right? You might start a business without a business plan, and that's okay. You might know where you're going without defining your North Star, and that's okay. But there's also something empowering about clarifying what that North Star is, and then being able to succinctly share that with other people to sort of build up that vision. Does that make sense?
totally. It's giving actually elevator pitch vibes of like being clear of what you do, being able to say it succinctly so people are interested and they understand. But it's also making me think of like coding. It's and the way you're describing values, like internal values. Like we don't always consciously know what our values are, at least until we do the work to figure out what they are, but we're always operating under them. It's like gravity. Like even when there's not a word to describe the phenomenon of gravity, it's still happening. And I think that's what North Star is in the context you're putting it in. So hot take, yes, but also I love that.
Yeah, I agree on that point with your values. And unless you've been to a good therapist, which luckily I have, you may not have ever really taken the time to say, oh, yeah, what are the things that I learned as a child that have kind of always guided me throughout my life and sort of determine the direction that I go when I meet that fork in the road. So, today, ultimately, what we want to help people do is kind of unearth that vision, right?
Mm.
Unearth that North Star, give you some words to frame it and some ways to think about it, to create it, and then you can share that.
Yes, we another way to say this is you can illuminate your North Star.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Like a lighthouse. Your business is lighthouse, cutting through the fog to show you the way to shore. Navigate that boat on over.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of it though, when you are able to articulate that North Star, it really changes the game for your business because now you're not like mysteriously operating under the fog of whatever it is guiding you to make decisions and take certain actions with your business or perform activities in certain ways. You're really clear and you're making those choices actively and building towards a long-term sustainable business.
Yes. And one of the most powerful things it does is it enables you to say no. Because once you know where you're going in a really clear
Mm,
way, you have the power to say, you know what, that doesn't actually align with the North Star for my business.
mhm.
So
You know where you're not going.
exactly. And
Mm.
one of the most important things as a small business owner is to protect your time, protect your resources and your energy. And the best way to do that is to know what to say yes to and what to say no to. So that North Star is where all the yeses lie, and everything that isn't on that path is an immediate and a hard no.
Yes. And I like this. I think we talk about that a lot, actually, like offline and online, of like getting clear with no's because everything else ultimately just becomes this sort of distraction and time waster. And that's time and energy that we can't get back to put towards the things that are driving us towards our actual goals, our real North Star goals. And I'm thinking of moments where like people ask me to do something and I'm just like, okay. And it's half hearted. And in this instance, I think we're saying only say yes when it's a full body yes. Otherwise, it's a no. Everything else is it's a no, and it's not aligned. And in your metaphor of like, is this going in the same direction? I know where I'm going. Like I'm thinking of a train or like a bus. Like, sure, hop on. We're kind of going towards there, but you're gonna have to walk the rest of the way. So make a good choice. Like, is this really useful for you getting towards that end destination or not?
And as you get more clear on it, like you said, that full body yes, it's like it sort of becomes a visceral feeling. And what I find, even Janae, as we move forward with Big Bad Marketing, is when I start to lean yes in something that is not necessarily where we know we're headed, I sort of feel it in the pit of my stomach. And I think, I don't really want to do that. That doesn't really feel good. And I could say yes because money reasons, but ultimately, is this going to get us closer to some of those business goals? Is this aligned with what we're doing? And when I really sit back and think about it, it's a no. And I think at the early stages of building a business, it is so easy to let money be that driver of everything that you do. And it's sort of like, oh, well, maybe making this particular thing is going to bring some money in the door. So I'll go do that. And then I'll go do that. And then all of a sudden you're way off course. And it's like, why did I start this business in the first place? Oh, yeah, it's because I wanted to empower small business owners to be able to do their own marketing. But so then why am I taking on this, freelance backlink building assignment for some dude out of Indiana?
No, that's hilarious. I was just thinking of examples and moments where we've had so far where people come at us with like random requests. I think we talked about it recently in an episode, but someone was asking us to do certain scope of work that just like doesn't fall in not only in alignment with our North Star, but also it's just like out of the scope of our expertise. So it was much easier to say no to that because we're like, that's really not where we specialize. We want to do the best we can for what we can do, and that's just not where it's going to be. But in the same vein, it's sort of tempting because we're like, yeah, let's bring in a client. Why not? Like, let's see how we can do it. And other moments when we do get things that really fall within our expertise, but they're just like, absolutely no, I'm not interested in that. It's not near our North Star. And we're kind of like, no. And eventually we come to it and we're both like, okay, that's a no. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. And again, I think having someone else to bounce those ideas off of and those things is so valuable, especially when you are sort of waffling between like, I could do this, but does it make sense? And maybe you, small business owner listening to this is an opportunity for you to use another resource in your life as you define your North Star to then share that with someone that you trust and then have them help you use that as a lens for decisions so that you don't get burnout or tied to these longer term relationships that you're not actually invested in and that don't align with what you want to be doing.
Brooke, what I am hearing you describe is literally boundaries. Maybe this episode is just about boundaries.
Maybe it is. You're right.
Like the more clear we are about exactly as you said it, the direction we are going, the more clear we are also about where we are not going. And that I think is just a boundary of like, this is how I will be operating. Thank you for listening to my PSA.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it's a boundary. And then I think another huge purpose of the North Star is inspiration. And it's to create excitement around the thing that you're doing. And it's sort of like when you finally put the words around your business North Star, it should just settle and it should be like, yes. Like you should have a feeling of peace around that North Star that is like, absolute yes, this is the thing that I'm doing and it feels good, it sits well. And if it doesn't, then that's not your North Star.
Yeah, then you're sort of clinging or trying to force fit something that just doesn't make sense for your business, or it's really not the direction that you even subconsciously want to be moving in with your business.
Yeah.
And generally, I think so. I know for you and then I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, like, most of the people who find their way to our podcast and are listening to this, and the people that we work with, are people who have a really strong sense of authenticity and coherence with what they're doing in the world, sort of in their business, the way that they operate in their own lives, and then wanting to ensure it's aligned with their value system, their mission, their purpose, their North Star. So maybe that's not for everyone, but I think that's the way that we're doing things here. And it makes it feel holistic and cohesive and like kind of gives a sense of semblance to everything that we're doing.
Yeah, agreed. And I think sometimes, and this especially applies to small business owners who sort of find their way into a business without really planning on it. Like I was drop shipping these funny t-shirts for my friends for a vacation, and now everybody loves these funny t-shirts. So now I've started this bigger drop shipping thing and yada yada. And that business owner might genuinely believe that like they sell t-shirts. They create funny t-shirts. But it's like, okay, could they have a North Star that is a little bit more exciting and invigorating? Like, could it be bringing smiles to people's faces by creating these funny designs? Or can it be more than that? I'm not saying it ever has to be. And if you just want to sell t-shirts on the side, that's fine. But I think for us, and in a world where a lot of people, for better or worse, do derive meaning from the work they do, I think having a North Star can be kind of a nice way to fulfill that meaning and purpose aspect of what you do every day.
Sure. And what I like about this too is it's not mutually exclusive for those who are doing a side hustle of like printing t-shirts that they absolutely don't care about. And this is like an income stream and diversifying their income. And they have other strategic reasons that they're making this choice. And like the deeper meaning behind printing these t-shirts in your example, it's not part of this. It's it's what's funny is like the it's still part of whatever their North Star is, which in this case maybe is just to make money, right? Like that's their goal. Maybe they have a financial goal in place and they're like, I got to hit this number before X timeline. That's my goal. So they're like, here's my 7 revenue streams and here's number 5, and it's the t-shirt business. Like it's okay that it doesn't have this purposeful, sort of like soft skill feeling, like ethereal, like I want to help people. It's okay. Like it still applies and you can still have a clear goal, or whatever it is you're doing can still fit into your clear goals. Even if it's not so like, oh, I am Gandhi.
So I'm going to respectfully disagree because I think that even when you say the goal is to make money, there's something more there. That's, I don't think the North Star is ever to make money because there's always something behind that. And not to get too much into, like emotional needs and things, but there's always a reason why we're doing these things. And that money serves a purpose. So maybe that money is
Hmm.
going to enable you to finally buy a home, to protect your family and provide security. So it's like there can be this goal, make money, but beyond that goal, there is still a North Star of I want safety and financial security for the people that I love. I want to be the first person in my family to graduate college debt free. I want to do these yada yada, so on and so forth. And it's like, I think that those one step more things are like where you could arrive after the 5 whys. It's like, okay, I want to make money. Why? Because I need to pay off this credit card debt. Why? Because I'm trying to turn around my financial life. Why? And it's like by the time you get to that 5th why, I think you're getting close then to figuring out the North Star. But very rarely do I think your North Star is going to be make money.
Okay, I love this. I love also the respectfully disagreeing, and I think you should disrespectfully disagree with me more often for the camaraderie of it. But yes, I think that we're getting at the same thing, which is like this whole process is about illuminating and uncovering. And I loved how you said unearthing whatever the North Star beyond what you think it is. Like, yeah, you're in business. Yeah, you want to sell more widgets. Like, yes, those are great goals, but let's keep going to like, what is at the end of those things? What do you really want? I feel like Alan Watts philosophizing something over here, but I'm just saying, even if you're not in touch with what that is, or even if you're just like point blank, like I just want to make money, and you're not open to seeing the unearthed version of it, it's okay because you are still being guided, and it's still fine to just keep making decisions that are in alignment with wherever you have come to the wall of like, this is what it is right now.
Yeah, I agree. And just like, in your therapy session, when you're defining those values, it's like you might not be ready for it right now. And if you're just starting your business, or if it is a side hustle or something you're doing for a good time, you might not be ready to think that deeply about your mission and purpose and vision and values and ultimately defining your North Star. And that's okay. That's completely okay. One day you might get there, or you might just decide to keep carrying on, and that's fine. But I think what we find is that having that really clear North Star just provides a level of focus that is sort of unrivaled. If you don't know what you're working toward, you can just get really unfocused and move in a lot of directions. So having that is like, it, again,
Clarity.
peaceful, clarity, totally.
Yeah. And okay, it's like it guides your decisions. So you're not chasing after shiny objects every time, like a new lead comes in that's not aligned for what you want to do. And it makes it simple, like you've said, like to just say yes or no. Does this fit or doesn't it fit? And then also, like if you're working with other people or you have a team, sort of everyone can align and like, yeah, that it's like the claw. Like, yes, everyone is in agreement that this makes sense for our North Star versus if it doesn't, people are gonna be like, what? Like we don't do that here. Why are you trying to do that? And then also, I think it's going to really pull in people who are your people. It's going to help you find your ideal customers because, like, you both are doing some sort of telepathic marketing magic algorithm things are happening, and you can find each other because you're putting out and they're picking up your customers. I mean,
Yes, totally agree. And this feels like a good time to talk through a couple of business North Stars. So, one that we really like is Airbnb, which, as a company, just a super big fan of their marketing more generally.
oh, love it.
Love the campaigns they're putting out lately with like the cartoonish people in the house. They're in the hotel, they go to the house, and then they got all this private space, and the whole house is yours. And I'm
Oh, yeah.
dancing around with my
Highlighting all the
hands and
pain
things.
points.
Yes, we love it. And
Mhm.
it's such a fun way to address people's pain points without them even knowing it. And maybe just because we're in the marketing space, we watch that and we're like, wow, that's great marketing. But people might just be like, oh, you know what? That is annoying to have the kids splashing me in the pool. I sure do wish I was
Well,
in my
that's
own
what I love
place.
so much about it is it's like I'm saying meta, like it is simplifying a thing and putting it in such a simple way that everyone can relate to it. And yet we know how many hours of thought have gone in behind the scenes to create that. Like it's not so simple and easy to just be like, here, we've addressed your pain points and provided you a solution all in one. And they've nailed it. They really have.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic marketing. Kudos, Airbnb, and all of you people from Airbnb listening. Um, so, Airbnb's North Star is more nights booked. It's a simple metric that really focuses their team on, is everything we are doing for this software platform, for the people who are booking rooms, for the hosts on the platform, is everything going to lead toward that
Mm,
North Star that is more nights booked? It's just
it
crystal
is that
clear.
simple.
It's
And it's
perfect.
again, it's like you're reading it and it articulating it in such a simple and clear way, but if you're just like out here trying to figure out like what is my North Star, don't overcomplicate it. Like it really can be this simple,
Yeah.
and it's easy to get lost in all of this like words and conceptualizing everything, but it's okay if it's just like we want to sell more funny shirts.
Yes. And that Airbnb North Star is more of a like North Star metric for them versus kind of ours, as an example, is a more kind of fluffy North Star that's not as easily measurable, but is more inspirational, aspirational. Um,
Which matches with our vibe.
yes. And we're at a place in our business where I think it's critical in the early stages to be able to use that North Star directionally without putting so much weight on it in terms of this has to be extremely data driven and I have to be able to assess it. It's like, no, it can just be inspirational for now. And when the time comes later, should we need a North Star metric, we can certainly have one. Airbnb is of a size where more nights booked is their North Star metric, but I guarantee when they were, back in a one bedroom San Francisco apartment renting out air mattresses, nobody was saying, hey, does that match our North Star of more nights booked?
Right. Yeah, don't overwhelm yourself right now with trying to make sure it matches with your end goals and all of this. Like, I like that we're kind of aspirational with where we're at because it's allowing us that freedom and that space that I was describing right off the bat of like, if you're too rigid about it and too fixed right now, it's going to maybe compress you and it's going to make it more difficult to be clear of what you're doing. And as we continue to navigate that and figure that out with each step, I appreciate the breathing room that we have with ours, with which without further ado, would you like to share?
Yes, and it is really simple and straightforward. Our North Star is empowering entrepreneurs. And everything that we are creating at this time, we run it through the lens of, is this going to better empower entrepreneurs to fill in the blank, to build a website, to do their own marketing, to better understand SEO, to manage their online reputation, to do email marketing, whatever it is, everything we're doing is all about empowering individual entrepreneurs to do these things with confidence and strategic thinking.
Yeah, to develop a long-term sustainable approach and have the foundations for a successful business. And that I think for us, as we continue to uncover and unearth all of this for ourselves, is like it's not just about marketing. It's so much that goes into ensuring that the foundation of a business is sustainable. And I think in the flexibility we've allowed ourselves with our own North Star, we've been able to say, hey, okay, we need to take a departure from, focusing on blog content or social media writing right now. And we really need to take a step back with this client and help them map out math numbers and help them make sure that their profit margins are accurate or that they have their website structured appropriately because all the marketing in the world is not going to help you if no one can figure out how to use your website, for example.
Yeah, which all leads back to business foundations. And if you would like to sign up for our business foundations course, you can go to bigbadmarketing.com/foundations waitlist and join the waitlist. Um, but truly, don't overcomplicate your North Star. This might take, days or weeks of journaling and kind of fleshing it out with a partner if you have one, or just a significant other, a friend, a business mentor,
Dog.
a dog who is a really great sounding board because they're going to love everything that you say.
Mm-hmm.
But, from where we stand, your North Star should be exciting. It should excite you. It should be that feeling of like peace and like I'm going in the right place.
Ah.
Yeah, it should make you sigh in that really like, ah, everything's going to be okay kind of a way. And if it doesn't do that for you, then maybe it's not your right North Star. Keep on headed back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm. And okay, what I also like about this is for you and I at Big Bad Marketing, it really does feel very like sigh of relief and full body yes. When I think about like empowering entrepreneurs, helping people make meaningful change is, I think, the next deeper layer of that. And for us, just as individuals, I think that is such a value system and important part of who we are and how we operate in the world. Like helping people, being like doing good and making purpose and creating purpose and helping other people feel connected with their purpose. And it shows up in both of us have backgrounds in fitness and holistic health. And that's such a clear place of like wanting to guide people towards making conscious, healthy decisions for what they take into their body and what they're doing with their body and their energy and their time. And this is just like such a, for me, an obvious interlink with okay, now we're just going to do that on a different scale in a different arena with people who are running businesses, because a lot of people are out here like, I fell into this t-shirt business, I fell into making a pizza restaurant run, and they don't have those tools or skills. So I for one just love being able to share the expertise in this really concrete, meaningful way.
Yeah, totally agree. It feels like such a natural extension of that background in fitness and wellness specifically. And having that background also sort of informs us that we can educate, we can coach, but ultimately we really can't do. Like the power comes from teaching people how
Mm.
to do for themselves. And there is nothing that gives me more gratification as a coach in the gym than to see a client who has been coming in consistently. And then finally, 4 or 5 months into us training together, they're able to do the thing that they initially wanted to. So they wanted to do their first push up or their first pull up, and they finally got it. And it's like they're thanking me for that, but it's like you showed up, you came in, you did the consistent work, and I was just here to be your guide in that. And I think that's exactly what we want to do for small business owners is empower them to do those things for themselves because what did you say earlier? The app that's designed to be deleted. We want to be the
Yes, yes.
marketing, your marketing consultant designed to be deleted.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's so satisfying when we work with someone and, at first they're like, this is all new and it's very intimidating. And I'm like, yes, because that's how I feel when I walk into like a CrossFit gym, which is where you might thrive. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. All these people are scary and they're dropping loud things. Where do I go? Right. I think that's how a lot of our business owners feel when we start with them. They're like, I know I need to do marketing. I know I need to fix this. And we're like, okay, here, hang on to this flashlight. Like, let me go get the lantern. We're going to figure this out. And then it becomes this like, oh, okay. We are working through this and I do understand it. And then they get to a point after, several weeks or whatever the engagement timeline is, where they are presenting us with strategic new ideas. They've been critically thinking, they're getting all of these insights and they're sharing them with us. And we're like, claps for you. Yes, this is the whole point, is that now you are starting to think this way and have this new perspective and understanding so you can go off and take care of your business for the long term.
Yes, love that. And it really is, the guiding light enables all that to happen, right? The business North Star. As long as we are ever focused on empowering entrepreneurs, things are good. Things feel at peace. So don't let your North Star just be words on a page. Live it out. Use it as a lens. Run it through, before you make any decision. Think about whether it aligns with your North Star. And I think you will find a lot more focus and clarity in that for your business and the things that you choose to take on in the future.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm just loving so much how this parallels with like individual purpose. And especially as entrepreneurs, I'm constantly like, okay, is this part of my, personal goal to do this kind of exercise, or, whatever my values and goals are, like having goals and being able to assess and figure out where I'm at with them and make those decisions easy yeses because they so clearly fit in. And I'm just loving the parallel of like this kind of work and defining your North Star for your business is also a process of learning yourself, of
Mm.
upskilling yourself and being just the most you, the best version of you. And you're also unearthing and uncovering that in this process.
Oh, I love that. It's so much more than just your business North Star. It is a little bit of finding yourself in there as
Oh,
well.
it's aspirational. Ah,
I love it. That feels like a good place to wrap.
thanks for listening, y'all. Big Bad Podcast.
Thanks.